Hi, I'm Catherine Ortega-Sandow.
Hi, I'm MJ Flamiano.
I'm Kenneth Suico, and I'm part of Saluhan.
And I'm the star. So Saluhan Collective was started by an artist named Ida Azin. The idea with Saluhan was very much to connect with Filipino community.
We do run these workshops or we do these shows, but people are really just looking for connection, and that's really what's come out of it. I think especially in art school, there's this emphasis on like the individual genius artist. It's very Eurocentric. We went through art school or universities and not having ourselves reflected in that curriculum.
Working together, working collaboratively has allowed us to sort of take risks and experiment in ways that we probably wouldn't by ourselves.
What do you call it? Fun. Yeah. It's like art. It's like it's serious, but it's like art for art's sake as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it is for me. On March 16, 1521.
So this is actually a song that I came across very recently, and I found out about Yoyoy Villame's practice. So he's the artist whose song that we cover in the work, just through watching YouTube videos. And I think watching these and being like, who is this guy, this clowny man? I love this, like something between sort of the bravado but the camp of it.
So I grew up in Cebu in the sort of mid-late 80s, and a lot of those sort of artists were like quite prominent.
My family's from the Visayas region, so Yoyoy is Cebuano, and you often find with Filipino work it tends to be quite Manila-centric. So that was the first thing that kind of jumped out to me, and I think it's quite, in my perspective, quite Filipino in the sense of it talks through these quite serious things like colonisation, first encounters, importing Christianity, but it's done in this way that's quite, I guess, festive, comedic, and which is very much, from my experience, a Filipino way of like quite serious subject matter, but it kind of is done in a way that's kind of playful, which is actually kind of speaks to our practice.
It does sort of talk about this, the discovery of the Philippines, and then ultimately the death of Magellan, which I guess now in a kind of post-colonial sort of framework, that's quite something that's quite celebrated, to look at understanding who these European discoverers were, and then understanding that they weren't discovering anything, they were just discovering something, I guess, for themselves, but there was already a thriving community there.
All people were baptized and built the Church of Christ, and that's the beginning of a Catholic life. When Magellan visited...
I knew that Kenneth had a really strong performance practice and is also a pretty keen singer, so I thought, could we get Kenneth to star as the lead? And then Catherine and I could participate as the, I guess, backup singers. What I like about this work is it feels a bit more accessible in a lot of ways. Like, it's got the karaoke aesthetic, it's singing, it's a lot of, I think, Filipino humour that Catherine was talking about before, that I think we all grew up with and can connect with, that sort of trying to talk about quite serious things, but also finding a lot of, humour and teasing ourselves and teasing our culture. Which I think, a lot of us can identify with.
It's quite playful, it's quite loose, but again, it still has that rigour, but it's not too tight, and I think that's what really comes out with the joy of like collaborative work.
Tell my mom, do not cry.